And I don't think we wake up daily. This is the work we've been given. And I don't think we wake up daily and say, this is a good day to offend people. But it has to be done. It has to be done. And I always say that healing comes at the frequency of truth. Yes. And for as long as we are committed to being dishonest about certain things, we are never going to heal. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Legacy Collective with Kanyisa. This is a platform where we talk about things that affect our legacies, those that have been passed on to us, the legacies that we're trying to live out, and those that will pass on to others as we see fit. Today, I am joined by Busi Selesho, a money coach, an energy healer, and the author of Black People and Money: Why Black People Don't Have Money and How to Heal Your Money Story. Busi, welcome to the Legacy Table.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I am so honored. It's been so long since I last had a chat with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward.
But also, you just mentioned that it's been so long since you had a chat with me. Can I just share what happened? And every time I tell the story, it's so freaky.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen you or spoken to you in about 5 years or so.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
And I am somewhere at the gym. And while I'm gymming, I go to the bathroom. And I get to the bathroom and something says to me, you need to speak to Busi. And I'm like, huh, okay. And I take out my phone and I search for your number in the bathroom. I search for your number, I find it, I'm like, okay, sharp, I'll call her. And then I get out of the bathroom and I go back into the gym and you were there.
Yeah. Literally,
That was so freaky.
manifestation on steroids.
On steroids. And I think this is such a testament to the fact that things just work out
Yeah.
the way they should,
Yes.
right? So welcome to the Legacy Table. Thank you for agreeing to sit with me. This is the healing and discovery season of the Legacy Collective. We heal and discover our legacies in order to pass on better ones to the next generation. And I always use the analogy with this season of a man that said, if you don't work during the day, your children will have nothing to eat in the evening. If you have nowhere to sleep, if you don't put together places to sleep during the day, your children will have nowhere to sleep at the end of the evening. And we then said here, what would possibly make someone not to sleep or to eat, not to work during the day, that makes them poor in the evening? And we went back to the morning. And the morning is a life stage. So your birth to about 30 years, and then from 30 to about 60 is your day, and then 60 to toilet time is your evening. And we then want to speak about things that may challenge our day. In our day, when we're trying to raise children, build businesses, build marriages, what are the things that appeared in our morning that could possibly trigger things in our day and have us regret in our evening? So that's the whole concept of the healing and discovery season. And today I would love us to speak about money.
Yeah.
How much trouble did the title of this book bring you?
Oh my goodness, do not remind me of that.
Like whenever I read the title of the book, I'm like, lost this in it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So the weirdest thing is that I never wanted to write a book.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever, ever would I have thought of myself as, why would I write a book?
Yeah.
I'm not that person. And then of course, weirdly, I had a coach that I see on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
And this coach, he kept on pushing me to write a book. And I mean, he had like 5, 6 books at that time.
Okay.
And he kept saying to me, Busi, this is going to be a good marketing tool.
Yeah.
Good marketing tool. Your story is amazing. And I'm like, what story? I wasn't even ready to tell the world about my 40 million rent debt story. And then I just saw like I was going to have a book that says how I got out of 40 million rent. I was like, nah, I'm not ready for that. I mean, that was supposed to be the idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, please. I mean, you're pushing me to do something I don't think I should be doing or feel like I'm doing. But then, even talking about this thing, I'm still trying to get my head around it.
Yeah.
And he said, write the book. And I started. So the only chapter in the book that I wrote is the first chapter.
Okay.
Where I'm just talking about me losing the 40 million rand.
Yeah.
Then all the other chapters of the book, I used to wake up at 3 a.m., sleepwalking at 3 a.m., and write until 6 a.m. I do not know what's inside this book. I have never actually understood what I wrote. I was half asleep the whole entire time I wrote all those chapters.
Wow.
So the chapters to me, also when I read them, I'm like, what? So I was literally just channeling information out of wherever to this book. The only chapter I wrote was the first one, which healed me so much of my own trauma. Then now, when it came to me now naming the book, that was another story. So one day when the book was supposed to come out, I needed to give it a title, and literally it took me 5 minutes. And I said, oil money and black people, white black people don't have money. And I did not think about it. I didn't even like, what would that sound like to people? Then the editor was ready, like, tell me what's the name of the book. And I said that immediately right there, right? And then I did not think about it. Book came out, I think, in 3-4 months. And I was at that time a weekly contributor to Power FM.
Okay.
So for a whole entire year, I was on Power FM in 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. And did I not almost got depression? Because everybody was like, what the hell? Who do you think you are? By the way, who does that? Who says such things? I was like, guys, I don't know what happened. I don't know what got over me.
I was sleepwalking.
My goodness. So I've gotten so much claps around this.
Yeah.
But also the people who get it really get it.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's no middle.
What do you think was a trigger for people?
No, everybody that had the line that says why black people don't have money was just like, you saying what about us?
Yeah.
And I said, no, actually, I'm talking about myself here. Actually, like, I'm the one who lost 40 million. I said, we don't care. You said black people. You should have said Busi.
How dare you say you don't have money?
Everybody was just like, so when I said money and black people, they'll be like, okay. And then when I say, why black people don't have money? You're like, you see now.
Spill.
Yeah, don't do that. So yeah.
But it is provoking.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's provoking.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I have committed to doing is to provoke people.
Yeah.
With grace.
Yeah.
With grace.
Yeah.
Someone sent a message and said, we are in the front line. We are ready for you to offend people. And I don't think we wake up daily. This is the work we've been given. And I don't think we wake up daily and say, this is a good day to offend people. But
it has to be done.
It has to be done. And I always say that healing comes at the frequency of truth.
Yes.
And for as long as we are committed to being dishonest about certain things, we are never going to heal. And you talk about healing your money story. And when one looks at that, they think, what? Heal my money? What's a money story?
Yeah.
Before I heal it, what's a money story?
Yeah. So a money story is this relationship, an emotional relationship that we have with money.
Yeah.
So someone that grew up in an environment where money was not a problem.
Yeah.
Money meant love, meant greatness, meant we are building a legacy. I mean, if you look at in South Africa, we've got a company called Johnson & Johnson. It's 100 years, more than 100 years now.
Yeah.
And that company is only run by family members. 100 years of being run by just this family.
Yeah.
It means that the legacy is growing every day, and everybody who gets born into this company is told, this is our thing, this is what we do in this family.
And there is generational work.
Yes. So for them, there's no other option but to make this thing work.
Yeah.
But then think of another person who is born into a family where the mother is, maybe just like standing on the corners to get the next meal and this and that. The pain that comes with knowing I'm eating because.
Yeah.
So again, it's an emotional connection because when I grow up, I am going to continue on that legacy.
Yeah.
I might get money in the same kind of energy where money is breaking me, where money is traumatizing me, where I'm doing it just for the sake of money. I've seen people who earn 200K a month in good jobs, but they're in so much debt. And when you ask them the questions, you find out that the legacy was that you can't afford, you don't have enough, you can never have enough. Doesn't matter how much they raise. Yeah. So our money story is that emotional relationship we have with money. Yeah. Either we hear money and we cringe, or we hear money and we're excited.
Yeah. Actually, when I thought about what is a money story and got to understand it, I then started asking myself, what's my money story? And look, I searched it in my mind for a long time because I think I've just always had a very passive relationship with money. One, when I was growing up, I don't think there was ever a time where I was told there is no money to do something or that I must have money, or it was just things are there. Money is there. We're not rich, but neither were we poor in that when I would grow up, I want to have money. And I found that that's a bit passive. But here's the story that I dug out of myself that I actually never thought meant anything to me, right? So when I was around 6, 7, just first years of primary school, I lived with my grandparents. And one of the things that used to happen is that my grandmother used to receive money on behalf of her brother. So her brother had a fleet of taxis, and those guys would come to her house to give the money to her at the end of the day. They would count the money. And in as much as it was a loving home and everything was great, when that moment came, when money was being counted, there was just so much tension in the air. You would see how these two people are very suspicious towards each other. Their body language is very tense. I, as a child, also knew that I can't make a move. When they are doing this, you shut up until they're done. You can't even cough, right? And that, I think, set somewhere in my subconscious mind, right? That money is serious. When money is counted, it's serious, right? And then when I think about money trauma, if you ask me, I would say, nah, I don't have a money trauma. I never grew up poor or anything like that. But then I remembered something. Around that age, school-going age, me and my grandmother had an arrangement that when I go to school, she would give me a note.
Yeah.
Right? And this note didn't have any value in my mind. It was just a note. And I would go to school and then I would buy something. And then after buying something, they would give me back mostly coins, right? They'd give me back coins, and money had no value in my mind. Until one day, my grandmother was sleeping and I decided that, you know what, I'm not going to wake her up. I'm just going to open that drawer where she puts the money and I'm just going to take a note and go to school. So I opened that drawer and I find multiple notes. And I decided that I'm going to take the prettiest of those notes. Remember, it doesn't really mean anything to me that it might be 10 rand or so. I took 100 rand. It was purple and it was beautiful. I took 100 rand.
Yes, of course.
And I remember how when I got to the lady I normally buy from, she looked at me very suspiciously.
Yeah, what's this?
What's this? And then I also was confused because after giving me what I had bought, she then started taking out a lot of notes from her bra, in fact,
Yeah.
and gave them to me. And I was just like, okay, maybe the prettier it gets, the more the better. I don't know. And I went home. My intention when I went home was to go and tell my grandmother, look,
Yeah.
today this woman gave me, what a miracle. The weight had already gotten to her. Probably she was counting the money and the money was missing or whatever the case is. And when I got there, she's furious. She's fuming. And she takes the bag, my school bag, and does this. And those notes fall on the floor. And it's a bloodbath. I never even got to explain what I saw, what happened. But also what I remember about that was her saying, "Tjhelete ya batho."
Yeah.
right? And I think that was the most important thing about that situation, was that it was someone else's money.
Yeah.
And I had taken someone else's money,
Yeah.
and she was going to pay for me taking someone else's money.
Oh.
Right? And I think, in as much as I never really thought about it, that is a trauma.
Yeah, it is quite, I mean, it's at a young age, being traumatized for something you would have no idea was going to be
What's going on?
so shocking to the system.
And I never thought I have a money trauma until I started doing the work and realized that actually this is how this trauma shows up in my job, in my business. I handle other people's money. And anyone who knows me or has worked with me will tell you that I'm very pedantic about reporting.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that I am a finance graduate. So you would think that I report so well and my audit is very clean because I'm from a financial background. But no, I think that trauma that says people's money.
Yeah.
People's money must be accounted for. It must not be taken.
Yeah.
It must not be taken sideways. You must, And I think that stayed with me and showed up in that way as someone who knows how to take care of money. But it really was a trauma response.
Yeah.
With you say in your book that when you lost your mother
Yeah.
at 6, is it 6, right?
Yeah.
From then on, you knew that you had to make money and money must take care of you.
Yeah.
There was no one else who's going to take care of you. It was you and money must take care of you.
Absolutely.
Then fast forward. You owe people money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Absolutely.
I mean, in the streets, you are known as the 40 million dead woman.
That TikTok, they call me
everyone. When I walked into this building, I met someone I know, and he said, "Oh, you are interviewing the 40 million rent money lady." I thought, okay. Now here you are, owing this much money that the bank is demanding from you. The bank is demanding your mother from you.
Yeah.
Because at 6, you made money your mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that relationship, that eventuality affect how you then view money at that point?
Yeah, so of course, like you say, in your story, the fact that now you need to be careful of other people's money. Remember, there's no other money in this world. Every money has got another person that is on them.
Yeah.
So when we earn money, it changes hands.
Yes.
Because I can't just earn it from the sky. I mean, SARS will have a big problem with me.
Yeah.
I have to do a service for you. You've got to give me that money. So money always has to change hands.
Yeah.
So it is other people's money. Because for you to pay me, it's your money. You decide if you want to give it to me or not. You decide if you're going to buy the bread at this shop or that shop.
Yeah.
So now when you have an issue with other people's money, it's a big deal. So for me, again, now I have made money a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
I've made money to be my comforter. I've made money to take care of me. And then, of course, things go wrong, really wrong. And then now I find myself losing
the money.
My mother, I is your mother.
So
It's like, that was not enough. Let's do it another time. So now I'm losing my mother again. I am losing that safety net.
Yeah.
I'm losing that power of I can be okay with myself at all times. Now, it is way more painful than the first time. Remember, now I'm like 30-something years. It is so much painful.
And this is who you've depended on for that long.
Because, I mean, one thing I pride myself on any day is that I can make money. I mean, I, at this point now, make money for other people. People come to me and they say, I need a funding. I can go out there and get other people's money to give to other people to make a value, and everybody is happy.
Yeah.
But then now I lose my mother again. I lose that only thing that makes sense in my life. So that was huge. That really hit me hard. Now, I say I'm so glad that it happened in my late 20s.
Yeah.
Because if it happened after 35 years, I don't think I was going to survive it.
Why do you think so?
Because we all have spiritual portals every 7 years that opens.
Okay.
So it's 7 years, you've got more energy than all all the other years. So you've seen a 2-year-old that climbs and wants to kill themselves every single second. And you are told, don't give that person sugar. We are in trouble.
Yeah.
So you've got more energy before the 7-year period. And then from 7 to 14, there's more portals that open, but there's still a lot of energy. From then 14 to 21?
Yeah.
And then 21 to 28.
Yeah.
The last round of amazement you've got in the spiritual cycles is between the age of 28 to 35.
Whew, my time is limited.
Yeah. So now after that, 35 to anything else, you are now responsible. So if you were blaming anybody for being broke before 35, then you still can. After 35, you make your own life.
You are the background.
Yes.
There's no longer a poor
It's only you and nobody else that you can blame.
Yeah.
So now, luckily, I got to do my roughness before that age, because then I did not really get to internalize all the trauma or all the pain, but I also had more chances of healing. When I give people ayahuasca in San Pedro, I always say, bring your children as little as they are to deal with the traumas, when the traumas can leave them quicker. After 35, we have to work harder to get the trauma out of you.
What would a child be doing with trauma? And I mean, I've just told you my money trauma at 7, but I'm just trying to understand that if I had a 7-year-old, how would I know that they've got a trauma at that age?
So we don't know we've got trauma until it's triggered.
Yeah.
So something happens right now. Maybe you are in a car accident.
Yeah.
You have this car accident, you go to hospital, and then you heal, and maybe it's 2, 3, 4 weeks later, until the next time you're in a car, and then your whole entire nervous system sees the accident again.
Yeah.
So then if you stayed at home in bed, you wouldn't have known that you've got trauma. So at the moment you put yourself out there and then you're experiencing life normally, that is how we know we've got a trauma. So we are at home, you are fine until you go to work and the boss says one word. Then you are triggered. You're singing and you are happy until there is somebody that tells you, no, actually you are fat. Why can't you lose?
That is mean. Don't get married to people that tell you are fat.
I think being fat is not a problem. Why would being fat? I mean, fat is okay.
Yeah.
But when now you are traumatized by it. Or a person tells you are broke, you can't afford me. And then you're like, she's evil. No, she's just saying what she knows.
Factual, probably.
I mean, it's probably factual. Well, maybe I didn't know I was broke until you told me. Like, I thought I was okay.
Yeah.
Until the standards are higher out there. Yeah. So now I'm triggered. Now I know I've got a trauma, because nothing will trigger you if it's not traumatic. So have you ever had this interaction where a security guard, not a security guard, babas, those boys at the parking lot.
Amazala.
Yes. You get there, you are barely 25 and you calls you Mama Zala. And you just laugh.
Start looking at yourself.
You just, but you laugh at it. You're like, oh my goodness, today was at the mall and somebody called me Mama Zala. And you're laughing about it.
Until you're 40.
Yeah. It's until you're 40 and then somebody calls you Mama Zala and you're like, what's the So you see the point. So when you are hit by something, a person could be saying the worst thing, but it would never. I mean, I'm 25, I'm young. Like, call me Mama Zala, I don't.
It's also like when you think you're beautiful and someone says you're ugly. It's just like,
no,
I mean, seriously,
you are looking wrong. You know the person is looking.
Yeah.
Something is not okay with their eyesight. Until somebody has said it in the wrong context and you got hurt. Now, if they say it again, you are up in smoke, you want to take them to court.
Yeah.
So that is how trauma works. So if you grew up in a place where money was never talked about, money was the ghost in the house, and then now you have a partner who says, let's sit down and do a budget. Budget, why are we budgeting? You want to know how much money I have. You want to take my money. Yeah, you are sent when. You know, like
different.
Yes, so now I'm triggered by that. So trauma, we only know it when the trigger comes. That is why we have to heal as soon as we have a trigger. Don't put triggers under the bed. They will get bigger. They don't get smaller.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be triggered at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, right now we've got a judge that is on air every day and he's losing his life. Every single word that comes out of people that are in that courtroom, he's losing his life. But he was tested at the wrong time, at the wrong place. You don't want to find yourself in those kind of situations.
And I think it happens for most of us. In any setting, trauma, you get to a place where you need to heal when there's so much that has gone wrong. Because one thing happens and you put it under the carpet and you say, it's fine, I'll deal with this. And then another thing. And then when I knock on your door and I say, Busi, I need help with this, man's pants. There's everything everywhere and it's not reversible in some
done a lot
of damage
to yourself because you have never dealt with this thing. And now it has cost you everything.
Is money trauma, could money trauma be ancestral and generational?
Of course. There's different levels in the spiritual realm of how we go through our journey. So, I mean, when I do an astrology reading, the whole point of doing an astrology reading is to know what things you should be aware of in your lifetime. So we look at the first day you were born till the last day you die.
Okay.
Wait.
You know the day I'm going to die?
Yeah, no, astrology. I mean, God gave us maths for a reason. I mean, those who did not study maths,
some of us took maths.
Yes, God gave us maths for a reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So, depending on when you were born and which planet you were born, you can calculate all of that.
Okay.
You use algebra and a whole lot of astrology to calculate to the day you're gonna pass. Because you get the download of yours, just like when the TV people are writing scripts.
Yeah.
They're like, you are going to be a Carabon generation and you're going to be there for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You're going to start here and you're going to end here.
Okay.
So when you're born, there's a contract, there's a soul contract.
Okay.
The soul contract can change depending on what you are doing here, but your life destiny doesn't change. So you have will only concerning your soul contract, but you don't have a will concerning your destiny. Your destiny is,
I guess, altering the contract is based on the decisions I make throughout that life.
Okay. That has to do with your soul.
Yeah.
Your soul comes in and says, I want to have an experience. I want to experience money. I want to experience poverty. I want to experience this and that.
Yeah.
But your spirit is sent by God. Then your spirit has a total different destiny from your soul. That's why you've got a spirit and a soul. A soul can do all the drama and decide all the wrong things or choose a better route and fix a whole lot of things. But your spirit stays the same. There's no...
And would you have a way of knowing when the soul and the spirit are not in alignment?
Yeah.
So it's this song by Budaza that says, yes, that what happens.
That's what is, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because your soul is here for another reason than your spirit. Your spirit is godly, is holy, it's just that light.
Yeah.
Now your soul is gonna have its dark and its light.
And your soul can be fractured.
That's and it can be taken and you can sell it.
Oh yeah, where you sold your soul.
Yes.
You've got soul fractures, you've got soul ties. So now you've got a spirit and you've got a soul that has been fractured, tied to other things and other people.
And it's all your decisions. And
yeah. Okay.
And your past lives and this and this and this and that. But when we look at your astrology chart, we now know what things are going to happen in your destiny.
Okay.
So around this age, you will have money opportunities.
Okay.
Around this age, you will have trauma opportunities. Around this age, you will have maybe life-changing moments that are important and how to deal with them. You will divorce here. You will marry here. You will have children here. You will have this. Now, you can decide to not go according to the script, but life will always pull you back to the root. You can go emashlathini, but the GPS will keep saying, rerouting.
Okay, U-turn.
But yes. So it doesn't matter. You can take 5 hours to go to Durban, or you can take 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because when now you're gonna enter every forest. And the GPS, that is your astrology chart, keeps routing you back to where you're supposed to be. Now it doesn't force you out of your bush stuff.
Yeah.
If you wanna go into the bush,
The angels would be saying, we have all day, it's fine. We'll go to the bush.
Go to the bush. We will tell you are in the bush now and you need to go back to the main road.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So money.
So again, your money story goes into that. So in that chart, we'll look at your love life, your money life, your health. Those are the 3 most biggest things that if I'm reading your chart, I will look and say, your health is going to go like this. Your money is going to go like this. Your love life, because those are the most important 3 things.
Yeah.
And then, of course, anything else, your career, what career should you be in, and those kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now that we're in money and spirituality, right? Do money rituals work?
Of course.
Busi Selesho.
Now you're going to get me into trouble.
I want to get into trouble. I mean, how much more can I do? You already put yourself into trouble with this book. Yeah. But chela sina money kai.
Yeah.
Hey, coin, yeah, 5 rand up and down.
So there are universal laws.
Okay.
They all apply. The one that we know the most, I think, that we are all just like show off is the force of gravity.
Yeah.
You stand on top of this roof, you throw yourself down, no angel is going to pick you up.
Yeah.
You're going to experience the gravity.
Yeah.
Now, but we can manipulate the same gravity.
Okay.
How does an aeroplane go up in the sky? Manipulation.
Yeah.
So we are given a leeway to manipulate every spiritual law to a certain degree.
Okay.
That is why uthola ukuthi kunokuthwala.
I was about to get.
Yes. Ukuthwala is a manipulation of a good thing into the other side.
Okay.
But there's a price to pay.
Yeah.
So when the aeroplane goes up, doesn't go up by itself.
Yeah.
There is a whole lot of fuel that has to be used
Yes.
for it to go up. So there's always a price.
Yeah.
Now, the manipulation has a certain limit. The aeroplane cannot go above some levels, but it can go as much as possible.
Yeah.
A lot. It can go up a lot, but there is a limit to the manipulation. So when we're doing money rituals, so first of all, let's talk about the most amazing thing, money manifestation.
Okay.
So money manifestation, you can do it at the most basic thing where you literally just stay in a good vibe.
Okay.
And think good thoughts.
Happy thoughts.
And write your, when the book The Secret came out, yes, the book said you just have to be happy and think about the next parking slot, and boom, it happens. Yeah. Well, that is true. That is the most basic of manifestation. But we know, especially once you're 35, there's no day of you having 2 hours of just like, oh, how life is blissful.
I'm dreading this celebration.
So it's so amazing out here. No, we know.
Yeah.
You've worked quality, you have all sorts of things going on. Everything is falling apart.
Yeah.
So you don't have time to be in a blissful day of nothing but just being happy so that you can manifest.
Yeah.
So once you're 35, we normally say, then we will have to put you in a ritual because thank you, Jesus. That is an option. You have to manipulate the energy a little bit because I was on a strength way. Now, when you're 7, my daughter is 13, she gets everything she wants. She manifests the weirdest stuff. Last year, she told us for her birthday, she wanted to go on holiday. And all of us, we looked at her, was like, yeah, when are you actually not okay up here?
Yeah.
Literally, we told her, forget about it. It's never going to happen. Guess what? A month before her birthday, I went to a golf day. I wasn't paying attention. I won a holiday, 5-star hotel for 7 days. Everything she ever wanted was in that package.
Yeah.
And I came back home and was like, guys, I can't believe it. I was at golf and I won. She's like, yes, Mom, I told you.
What?
On my birthday, we need to go on a holiday. And everyone was like, how did you do this one? So on a birthday, we were in a 5-star hotel. We're enjoying her best birthday ever.
Wow.
So she is that good. But my daughter is always happy. My daughter is always Yeah.
Well, there are not other things that make us unhappy. She hasn't got.
She doesn't have, so she can use the basic laws of manifestation without any problem. But now me, I don't have no time for that. You know what? Mjolo, everything. Absolutely, there's nothing. So we have to now manipulate the energy to a certain point. So when we do the manifestation rituals, the rituals work either you like them or not.
Yeah.
Either you, as long as you're doing them, it's like just like making a baby. There are people who don't know how the baby was made. It was, say, 3 seconds or whatever the baby was.
Whether you enjoyed the process or you didn't.
I mean, as long as you tell the Lord, I'm doing this, it means you want the baby.
Yeah.
So it's not a questionable thing. So the rituals make it like that. So when you're making a baby, you have to perform a ritual.
Yeah.
So it's a ritual performance before the baby.
And the ritual would be the intercourse.
Yes.
Okay.
So you cannot say I've gotten a baby without intercourse unless you've done some other ritual that still, but other than that, if you were following, whatever that is basic, you have to do a ritual.
Yeah.
You have to, the ritual is not you making the baby because you cannot put the hair on their fingers, but you can do the ritual to tell God, I'm ready for a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then that manifestation can happen. So then we will do many rituals to do a telling the system, I am ready for money and this is how much money I need. And then in the ritual we say this much money when it should come through this door, like this, like this, like this. Then there will be things that you do, clean things, when you are not doing the one where you have to pay a price. Or you're just doing the one where you do your energy.
I think because there's so much out there of unclean things to do as far as rituals and money are concerned, I want us to think about what clean things are there that are money rituals.
Yeah, so if you're not hurting anybody, and I always say this specifically for the people that I help them with relationships, we can manifest a relationship in 5 days. But you cannot name anybody's name.
Okay.
You cannot involve anybody's will into your ritual. But you can manifest a person who is also looking
for you.
Because there must be a demand and a supply.
Yeah.
So if you are sitting and you're doing a relationship ritual, there must be someone out there who's saying, I wish I can have a relationship. Now that will connect you to that person. But you cannot take, see, but I need you here tonight. Now that's that's even worse. Now you're calling more trauma. But let's say this person is single and you're putting their name there. Now you've done something wrong because now you're overriding their will. Can you override somebody's will? Yes, you can. But if you are overriding somebody's will, then you have done the wrong thing. So that is no longer clean. Then there's a price to pay. Don't come back to me and ask me, oh no, this is happening. No, you did not follow all the rules. So in money also, you can do the clean rituals where you're not hurting anybody. You're not saying, I want somebody's car.
Yeah.
I want somebody's position. I want somebody's whatever.
Yeah.
You are calling your own from the universe, whichever company has a position that fits your description. Now they are open to you. But they must also have a need and want for you, not you forcing them.
According to their will.
That is when, clean is when you're not hurting anybody, and clean is when you're taking from somebody.
Sure. Would you say in the Christianity religion, as a practicing Christian, is there an equivalent to what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, there's rituals all over the Bible. Jesus dying was a ritual by itself. Just that day. I mean, Jesus told people to go to the river and wash themselves and cleanse themselves. Those are rituals. Jesus made wine. That's a ritual. I mean, there are too many. That the Bible is full of rituals.
And I'm asking you this deliberately because what we're trying to do here, and why we're even having this conversation in the first place, is because we have things that we got here and people were doing. Some we understood fully, some we did not. And rules changed and bended as we go. And now we are sitting with things that we probably don't know fully and have a responsibility to pass those things to other people. So I am a Christian and I know certain things that were done as Christians. some I may not fully understand why they're being done. And then I would want to pass on something that is healed, something that's understood and pass it on. So that's why I'm asking you the equivalent of that. Because how Christianity is portrayed to us. I'm sure there's a person watching this right now and thinking, how dare you say ritual?
Yeah.
Jesus says, what for all of it?
English, Nkosi yami, lawe. So, I mean, there's one ritual that has always worked amazing for me.
Yeah.
First of every month of the year, on the 1st of Jan, I always serve the Holy Communion.
Yeah.
To my dad's a ritual.
Yeah.
Holy Communion, we all know it's a ritual.
It's a ritual.
We know it's a ritual. So if if the last time we done a ritual, well, you definitely have not probably done the Holy Communion.
Yeah.
And of course, that is a ritual that symbolizes three things: the blood, which is the energy, the masculine energy, and the bread, which is the feminine energy, and then which is the spirit, which is the governing guides.
Yeah.
So every time you take the Holy Communion, you're calling upon those three.
Yeah.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, fine. So I mean, I use the Son at all times to do the manifestation work.
Yeah.
Works like magic. So there are many. I mean, the river thing is in the Bible. It's all over the Bible. I put people in the river all the time, and they literally come out of that water healed all the damn time.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we are doing what we need to do, which is fine. But when we don't have understanding, it doesn't really serve us so well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ritual of marrying a wife. In the Bible, there are rituals of marrying a wife. We have rituals of marrying a wife.
Yeah.
You do them right, you get it right. You do them wrong, things go wrong.
Yeah. You know, when you are talking, when we are talking about Christianity and rituals, giving just came to my mind. And I think seeding, so giving a seed is a ritual, right?
Yes, it's a ritual.
Tithing is a ritual.
It's a ritual.
And I've been thinking about giving and money, right? And why we do it.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine told me that she doesn't tithe because she is afraid of the pastor and his whole pastoral team and leadership knowing how much she earns. Because if she's tithing 2,000 and she drives a Mercedes-Benz, you guys are now going to know that she's breathing through the wound because you now know that she earns 20,000. And that's, for me, it's a blockage.
Yeah.
Right? Another person would say, I don't give because I don't want to be the person that takes care of their pastor, the pastor and the wife. The pastor must go and work. You're already losing whatever benefit there is for that. Another one was when you give, right? Are you a God empath or a God pleaser? Right? So the basic concept, the basic definition of being a pleaser, so a people pleaser, is someone who does things so they can be rewarded, so they can be thanked, so they can be seen. Right? And when you give, if you are a God pleaser, you are giving because you want God to do something for you. Even if, of course, the Bible says shaken together and running over, even if the Bible says, try me and see if the windows of heaven won't open. You are at the core of your heart giving because you want something to be given to you. And should it happen that you give and give and give and nothing gets given to you, you will even start threatening God and saying, I'll go to the snakes because they're not delivering. As opposed to being a God empath, where an empath is someone who has walked in your shoes, is empathetic. So it cares about the things you care about because you care about them and they're in your shoes. And when you feed the widow, when you feed the poor, you are doing it because God cares about it. When you are giving at church, you are giving because this is God's institution and this is where you connect with God and you feel that the empathy that you have with God is what drives your giving versus the God-pleasing part. And so I think people lose so much value in that ritual because of things that come from their traumas. Because when you say you don't want the pastor to know how much you earn, what are you running away from?
Exactly.
Your true identity? Because whether he knows or not doesn't change the fact that you do earn 20,000.
Absolutely.
Whether you are giving the money or not to the pastor and he takes care of his wife with the money doesn't change the fact that there's giving to be done.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we lose so much resources that are given to us spiritually, and we eventually say that giving doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or Christian rituals don't work, and then we go to the other one.
Yes. And we don't know Christian rituals, by the way.
Yeah.
So giving is a powerful ritual.
Yeah.
And if you use it correctly, like you say, you're not giving for the purposes of pleasing you.
Yeah.
Or creating a better branding for yourself. Oh, she's got money, she's doing it, he's got money, he's the one.
Because some of us are giving because we were trying to buy the seats behind the pastor.
Absolutely. But if you're doing it for the seat, then when you get the seat, the Bible says once you get the seat, you've gotten everything. So you can't really get the true benefit of the ritual, because the true benefit of the ritual is that you get 100-fold. Now, 100-fold, I don't know, sitting behind the pastor, is it really 100-fold?
It's not even a fold at all.
Exactly. So the moment you don't do the ritual correctly, like I said, all rituals, you have to give them everything you've got, every respect. If you're doing them wrong, then you're losing out on the benefit. And then, of course, talking about the giving ritual. The giving ritual says that it's a thanksgiving. It's an appreciation. Now, I have had clients who come to me and say they go and they get a credit card to go and give a church.
Oh, no.
Go and get a credit card to tithe.
Oh, no. What?
Now, you see the problem. I really want to be sitting behind the pastor, so I'm going to get a credit card and buy my seat.
That's so sad.
So you see now, right there, this person is still thinking they're doing a ritual, but it's no longer a ritual that's going to help them.
You know what I'm thinking about when you say that? You are probably trying to get closer to the pastor because you are trying to be reparented.
Well, there's so many reasons.
All you're trying to do is just trying to get this person to see you so they can be your father.
Exactly. So they can approve of you. They can give you that adoration you never got.
So sad. That is so sad.
So you give all your money for the sake of adoration.
Yeah.
And I mean, all of us have sort of bought love at some point. People buy love every day, in families, in marriages, in relationships. Money talks.
Yeah. Look, I know that there was one point where I was seeing my pastor for counseling. And while I was seeing him, I didn't pay anything because I'm a congregant, right? But I know that one of the things I used to do was to send my tithe from my bank, right? And obviously, something subconsciously was telling me that when I sent my tithe from my bank, he's going to know that I'm tithing, right? Until one day I said, oh, wait. I'm not giving because of giving. I'm actually in a position where I don't even think I deserve for this person to see me during the week and give me this much attention. So when giving time comes, I'm going to try and prove to him that I'm worth the time. That I'm worth him seeing me because
important.
I'm important. And that is not a ritual. I'm actually trying to pay school fees. I'm paying a consultation. I might as well go to see a psychologist and pay them.
Absolutely.
And just stop wasting my money.
Yeah. Because now you're not trusting God. Remember?
No. It actually has nothing. I had to confront myself and say, this activity right here, this transaction has nothing to do with God.
Absolutely.
It has everything to do with my need for approval from this person and my thinking that I don't deserve to be seen for free.
Absolutely.
And therefore, I will make him know that.
You just keep giving more and more money.
Yes.
Until the day,
until the day he doesn't greet me after church.
Then you cry.
And I'm pissed. And I say I have church head. Church head. And then I don't go to church anymore because what I was pretending to be doing didn't work.
Absolutely.
And now.
And that is why so many pastors have made business out of it.
Yeah. They actually made business out of our traumas.
Because the more I babysit you, the more you're gonna give
me money.
Exactly. And I will appreciate the ones who are giving more so that everybody can know. Only those ones can sit there
and be prayed for. Sure. Let's talk about men and money. Do men love money?
No, men don't love money. Men love what money gives them, which is power and the throne.
Sure.
So, and the weirdest thing is that men can't have money without women.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, there's no man in this planet that will have money without a woman involved.
How does that work?
Must never. Show me one man that is successful and that doesn't have a wife. And ask every successful man how they got to be successful.
Yeah, I think everyone that came to my mind are people that are probably divorced, have made the money with the woman, and are now eating it by themselves with other people.
No, they still, if they're eating the money alone, it will finish in one day. They must eat it with a woman.
Sure.
Then it will not run out as fast as possible.
You know why I'm asking you if men love money? Here's a concept that I struggle with. We are told that men are providers, right? You come into a marriage and the template is such that the man must provide for this home. They go on and face whatever traumas they have to face out there and fight with whoever they need to fight with to come back and give everyone around the wife, mother, children, all of their money.
And what does that give them back?
Power.
Yes. And they can now be head, which is then now controlled to a certain level. No, there's no man out here who's broke that is irrespected. You've lived, but a woman can be broke and still be respected.
That's true. So, but also, don't you think men fear not having money?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're useless. As a man without money, there's no hope for you.
That sounds wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
No, man, hear me out. When I think about, and maybe I'm coming from a mad empathetic place.
Yeah.
If there's such a word.
Yes.
Where I'm trying to think about a man as a human first. Right? Like ngwana batho. Yes, it gives them power. That's fine.
They need it.
They need the power to
So if you're taking the boys up, they must die. Because men can't live without that assurance that they are useful.
Yeah.
That's how God made them.
Yeah.
That is why when you see a man who Makoti, he wakes up every day. He just knows life is not okay. Doesn't matter if he's driving the woman's car or he's trying to rob her. He just knows something in his spirit says, oh my goodness.
But you say something
I'm
in your
eating
book.
my wife's mind.
You say that you've seen men, right, in your business that come to you, and the secret they tell you is that when their wives make more money, they are actually happier because the weight of being the provider is sort of taken off their back. How does that work?
Now, because I've got a powerful wife, and this happens every day, I can finally shine. Because remember, I'm making 1 rent. My wife makes 1 rent. We need 2 rent to take care of the house. We now taking care of the house. Now, when people come into the home, who are they gonna glorify?
The man.
Yes, they're not gonna ask ufake malini.
Okay.
So he goes around with a big car, and all the kids are thinking, "Oh my goodness, he's got money, he's got high."
Let the wife.
So he is the one who's always gonna benefit. That is why a man has to take out lobola and go and pay for a person to come and make him look good.
Let's talk about that. The concept of lobola.
Yeah.
Does it not devalue women to an extent? I mean, you said men use money to gain power. If they've used money to buy me, regardless of whether or not they appreciate the spiritual, cultural, and the whole concept behind paying lobola, when they have bought me with their hard-earned money, does that not make them to place value on me and how they can treat me and how not to be treated?
Now, let me tell you, every married man will tell you this. I cannot lose my wife. I may not like her. I may not think whatever. I cannot lose her. I need her. He knows for spiritual reason and for just all practical reasons.
Okay.
That is why men will never really leave their wives for another woman.
Yeah.
Men can stay in a marriage that is crappy, and as long as the woman is so strong and is holding the home strong, he will never get out of that
Holding the knife.
Yeah, because he understands what the woman brings to him. And he knows that once the woman steps totally out and closes her heart away from him, now when
Prayers won't be
when the woman, that is why also men will not never dump. Women are supposed to never dump a woman. You never tell a woman I'm phone because you don't want to close the blessings door. Yes. So you keep saying to her, "Hi, money, kunje, hi, let's see, maybe we'll fix it next week." Da, 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 da.
hell no.
Yeah, so just keeping that door open because you know where your blessings come from. You'd never divorce a woman or tell her you don't want her. The spiritual principle. Now, that woman that does not know for sure that you don't want her, she's still praying for you. I mean, it benefits you, right? Why would you do it with?
So exactly. Why would women do that?
Yes. So now, why would women do it? This is a good question. So now, women are naturers.
Yeah.
Women enjoy nurturing. That's why a woman will say, "Give me a baby." Women want into nature stuff.
Yeah.
A business that is run by a woman is the most strongest thing ever. It takes care of so many people. Women love to nurture. But also women are given the womb, which is a creation platform.
Yeah.
They have a physical womb, of course, to put a physical baby, but they also have a spiritual womb, which is one thing that a man should never, ever tread upon wrongly, because once that womb is closed for you, you are in trouble. That's why you see a lot of men that their wives totally got rid of them in their hearts. They are going through the most, because then they reverse the whole thing. They close that womb to them. But anyway, why would women do it? So of course, women have a security issue.
Yeah.
If I am living in a big mansion with 24 bedrooms and this and this, if there's no man, I feel like something is missing. Because I need that masculine energy. And masculine energy, you can smell it from afar.
Yeah.
A man can be broke, but when he's got masculine energy, he can do everything for anybody.
Yeah.
Hence, I always say to men, sometimes you don't have to have money, you just have to work on your masculine energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That thing will pay you.
And there are men that have money and don't have masculine energy.
And it's bad. It's bad news. They are busy with slay queens on a daily basis. Doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So, but if you've got masculine energy, because when you've got masculine energy, you can put the energy of security in that home. And that is, at this stage, women, that's all they need.
Yeah.
Is that masculine vibe.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they cannot make themselves. And if a woman is masculine, it's toxic.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
absolutely,
I need to be in my feminine at all times. Use my masculine percentages only to make my money, but not to control people and this and that and that.
So there has to be a portion of your femininity and the masculine. So you take the masculine to the marketplace, and
then when I come back from work, I come back to my feminine, and then I can take that feminine energy to my home, to my children, to you, to make you be
give you the power,
relevant, to give you the power. Yes.
In your masculine energy.
So that is what women are looking for. They're just looking for that security of a masculine energy. Now, a lot of women, of course, they did not have fathers, or if they had fathers, their fathers were not in the right space of taking care of them. So normally, powerful women will run on the masculine energy, and then they will get these boys that they pay their bills, they pay their bond, they paid for their car, and then you know how that looks like.
Actually, when you say security is all we need, I'm replaying a conversation I had with a group of women, and I'm sure you would know this because you help women to get funding for their businesses. And whenever we were talking, there was a sense that the underlying reason why we are pushing this hard to make money and make, have side hustles was because we can almost smell and feel that that other side of masculine is dropping the ball.
Yeah.
We don't feel safe.
Yeah. When you don't
Right.
feel safe at home, you're going to try every single thing under the sun to make the money.
To make money.
Automatically, your nervous system is going to go on overdrive and you're not going to sleep until you've got money in that bank account.
Yeah.
And then automatically, you're going to start to override his will,
his position,
and you're going to control him. The other day there was a joke I saw on the internet says, if he doesn't have a job, start a business and give him a job. So right there, if you've been trying to do this, if he's still not getting now, start a business and give him a job.
And give him a job.
Yes.
And we can laugh about this, but
It's true.
there are actually women that have done this
All the time.
There are women that have done this,
Yeah.
that have even gotten jobs themselves and employed the men inside their own job.
And get a loan and give him to start a business and pay the loan afterwards and da 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 da.
Hey, Leona. What do women say when you try to get them to ask for more money than they need?
Oh. Slave queens.
Uh-huh.
They are saving the country at the moment.
Okay.
Right now, they are building the country one piece at a time. So now that's the thing.
Yeah.
Man has a masculine energy. And that masculine energy is all about providing.
Yeah.
So that I can have power and I can have the control and I can show up as the sun.
Yeah.
Remember, the masculine energy is the sun, is the one that needs to be in front, that needs to be clapped for. And then the woman is the feminine one that's supposed to be in the background, that needs to sort out things. So slave queens tell you nicely, you don't have money today. Do not call me. Do not come to my house. When you have money, we will talk. What does the man do? He goes and works so hard, brings the money to the slave queen. Men that are fueled by the slave queens don't send money home. Because the wife is taking care of everything. You remember, she's holding the home steadily. She goes to a job, she buys the kids food and clothes. He works for the
Is that why women have single parents inside marriages?
Yes, Mama, yes. Because the man is doing the work of the Lord.
Outside.
Out there in the streets. He's buying Louis Vuitton. He's got a bill. He's got those slips as a Gucci now. 100,000 rand shoe.
There was a lady on one social media platform who was talking about how she found a slips at 18,000.
Yeah.
And her husband had bought someone.
And asking who's buying the grocery in that home.
Yeah.
And ask who's paying for the rent and the car. The man is literally working so hard to provide for slave queens. But then you know what slave queens' value is?
Yeah.
They can trigger a man's masculine energy. Because the queens will never let you be happy until you've given them money, and it ends 15 minutes after you've given this one, and then they're already talking about the next action. Now, you are always, I play with men golf every day.
Yeah.
Those men are on the tip. There's slave queens upon slave queens that are calling, asking for money.
Okay. How do we save the country as women then?
No, we have slave queens to save the country.
Oh, wow. Let's take back our power now. So I obviously don't plan to resign in the other team.
So I teach a class called High Value Women.
Yeah.
Now I'm teaching the wives and the normal humans,
Okay.
And I'm like, seriously, ladies, you are literally dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Because you are the ones, a man is telling you, oh, I don't have airtime. You're asking how much is the airtime. No, you can't be doing that. A man is saying it doesn't have rent money, and when you're asking how much would I help with? No. You do not pay rent for a man. Give him airtime money. I hate this. They tell you yes. It gets there, right? So the moment you do that, you take away his masculine energy and he's going to come back and ask for more because now you're becoming his mother. But guess what? That day he gets some money, he's gonna go and look for a woman because he's tired. He gets tired of the mother. Nobody wants to live with their mother. So you might think when I'm building him, you actually
Builder.
you are actually
Sending him away as we must convene as Bob the Builders, and you need to teach us to stop building Bob.
So I tell you, women come into that course name.
Yeah.
3-4 weeks later, they're like, my husband just bought me flowers. My husband is promising to buy a new house for us. My husband is buying me a new car. Busi, how did I not know this? I could have had a new car 5 years ago. Only today I'm getting a new car. Because
I'm going to make change you
when
watch this episode.
we change it. Oh, you became a slay queen. And it's not about makeup and nothing. It's energy.
You just tapped into your feminine
energy. Go into that feminine energy, clean feminine energy. Oh my goodness, the man cannot help himself. Doesn't matter how long you've been married to him or how long you've known him. You change, you will see the truth.
I'm thinking about a situation where I think months ago, while I was driving, my car hit a brick and it went flat. Obviously, it was a flat run, and then at some point it gave up. And I remember telling my husband, but you know how I was telling him? I was informing him, and I was saying, tomorrow is Monday, I'll get it sorted. And he said, no, I will get someone to get it sorted. And for the first time, something in my spirit said, girl, calm down. Uber if you must. Allow this man to sort out this tire.
How just.
And I remember on the day where
he's supposed to be a man then.
Yeah, on the day where he got the guys from the tire company to come and fix this thing, the joy on his face. And I thought to myself, in my mind, it was not a big deal. Really, I am a full human being with a full brain. I also have the fingers to call that company to come and fix this thing.
You just need more feminine energy. Wow.
And I realized that,
you're supposed to be hopeless and
just
helpless.
Be a damsel in distress.
I mean, it's good to be stressful with somebody to save you.
But again, that all obviously comes from a deeply rooted place. I am a firstborn who grew up in boarding school. I'm very independent. I literally have to learn how to be feminine because what? I make my own food. I discover my own things. I know how to...
Yeah, you know how to make money.
Make money.
It's your life.
When this guy met me, I had everything I needed to make money. He has never seen me poor. But now, you start to wonder why he would be entertaining people that don't have money.
Because they receive.
Sure.
They can receive. When you are a man.
Oh no.
You are providing.
Okay, let's have a session as Bob the Builders.
Yes, Bob the Builders. Yo, they are killing us, these Bob the Builders, because the usual team. Yes, this is a team. This is a team thoroughly.
Oh no.
Because now men are getting weaker and weaker because women are not giving them the chance to be men.
Sure.
When there's no electricity, sit in the dark. Sit in the dark and say, no, baba ngiyazi uzayilungisa akunankinga.
You're gonna dump and be straight.
Just bath with the cold water.
How's it?
And be like, I know you're going to make this work. Then he gets the hot water. Now he is useful. Now you're making his money story better.
Yeah.
Because I actually fixed stuff in my house. I fixed the tire, I fixed the water, I fixed the...
But why do they feel the need to do this?
Because that is their job. God gave them the job. It's a God-given assignment. As much as they can get pregnant, you want to take everything they've got from them. You want to take all of... They can't get pregnant. They wish they can get pregnant. They can never.
We need a masterclass on this. I know for sure that there are a lot of women, especially wives, that struggles. Because I always thought that men must be tired of providing. Maybe that's the reason why they allow people to have women-headed households while they are there.
They can never get tired of providing.
It's their role.
Oh my goodness. It's like you're asking a fish
To stop
not
eating.
water. If the fish goes on top of it,
You've been told that to be a good wife, you must be understanding. When you are building
you're
together.
not the understanding that my husband is bringing the man. Hence I'm saying, if there's darkness in the house, you must be understanding, not scream and shout or sit in the dark and say, Baba Nyazi, you're going to fix it. That's the understanding one.
Even when I
Not
was
the one
to
that,
fix it.
no, who said you have money? Pala when I was saying, whatever money you have, yeah, like car, so it's not yours.
Oh, there's also that.
Mm.
Sure. How does someone know that they need to heal their money story?
When you feel horrible, weird, scared, traumatized when you think of money.
Okay.
So when we just say money and you're thinking, damn, I don't have enough this month. Damn, I cannot take care of my children. Damn, I cannot afford this. Oh my goodness, when would the Lord ever bless me? Now you have a problem.
You have a problem. What was the craziest money story you ever had? Either from your clients or someone who read your book?
I mean, I've told you the one of getting credit cards and
Yes.
oh, by the way, this lady had HIV and the pastor was praying for her to not have the HIV. So she bought the pastor a van, and then now when she came to me, she was I think she was not bought already. She was about to buy the car. The pastor a Mercedes Benz on top. She was almost finishing the baki, and then the daughter.
When you say almost finishing, you mean she got it on debt?
Yeah. No, she was paying for every month for the back. That would have been like, what, 6-7 years? Now she was almost done with the back. Now the pastor was telling her, now, Mama Sekaya must also get a car. Then the problem she came to Busi was not that. The problem was that she had a daughter that was supposed to go to tertiary. She couldn't afford the daughter's fees. She could afford the pastor's cars and everything else that the pastor was asking. Now, she was coming to me to say, hey, Busi, I can't afford my child's school fees. What should I do? Because you only have your child. Then she started, I'm like, oh, did the HIV go? How? I mean, HIV, no, who has ever been killed by HIV lately? Nobody dies from HIV. Just drink pills. That's the whole point.
Yes.
Huh.
But she thought a baki will destroy HIV.
The baki was holding on. Yes. So now she's coming to me to say, I cannot afford. The child is kissing her. Because the child can see my mother works every day, but she cannot pay for my school fees. But she pays for this car. Well.
And which, by the way, the Bible says you are better than an unbeliever if you can't take care of your own.
Exactly. So there are many of the I mean, most of them are women's stories. And then another one came, she had given this new boyfriend of hers. Well, it's not new, maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
The boyfriend came and started with love bombing her, promised her marriage. I think at some point they just went to a church eve service and the pastor blessed them. And it's manje lately, the pastors tell you should not pay lobola. That's how you really get scammed.
Yeah.
Now, she took out a 1 million rand loan, gave to the guy, and the guy vanished.
And I mean, that story is not isolated. We hear that a lot.
Now, she was coming to me crying because, Busi, can I get my money back? The police said I gave it willingly. Why in front of a church? This is your husband. But again, you see now, these are the kind of issues we've got when it comes to this thing of masculine energy and feminine energy that is losing its energy.
What do you think she was really doing?
She was buying love. I mean, she was like, what, 40, early 40s?
Yeah.
So there's somebody who tells you they love you every day, you're beautiful, you're the most amazing thing, we're going to build up an amazing empire, I have got business coming through, just give me this money to go and fill up the tender.
Yes.
And then it was just like, she found out later, of course, that he does it with everybody.
Why don't people pay people when they owe them?
Because you giving somebody's money, you are not a bank. So you borrowing somebody money, you are giving them a gift. Anytime you borrow somebody money, know that 90% chances say they won't bring it back.
But why?
Why? Because you are not a bank. Why are you giving people money? Send them to the bank. The bank is legally.
But hear me out. I have a friend.
Everybody must have a credit card, an overdraft, and everything else. The bank provides too many options. You can explain your story.
To the bank. You can explain your story to the bank.
Yes.
But there is this thing that people have money, box all their money, and then they come to you and they say, please help me out. I have an order coming. I need to service this service. I need to do this, that. My money is gone. And you are always bailing them out. There's a saying that where money is not respected, it will leave. When you bail someone like that out, are you not forming part of a team that disrespects money with that person?
Yes. So, even if you are not giving them money, just being friends with broke people is a problem. No, it's now giving money is even worse. You're putting a soul tie there.
Ish.
Chilling with broke people, spirits are transferred. The 5 people you spend most of your time with, they determine who you become or not.
Yeah.
So just chilling with people, you are exchanging energies. You have certain conversations. You have certain mindset. You could be the most amazing person. You chill with the chickens long enough. As an eagle, you're going to forget how to fly.
If I don't take your call anymore now, you know why.
So, but then now, giving your money, do it under a ritual that says, I'm giving, and don't ask for it back.
Sure.
Then fine, you can give people money as long as you're not going to ask for it back.
So you must give away money that you're prepared to lose.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
But then what's the point of friendship if I can't have you bail me out?
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if me and you have a strong relationship,
yeah,
the chances are we're probably going to be on the same level of energy. Which, if we broke, broke. So it's not really like that, you see?
Yeah.
Now, if you rich, now I'm probably rich.
Yeah.
Now, what will happen is that you might be good at accounting, I might be good at catering.
Yeah.
Now I can ask my friend, can you come
and cook
cater for me?
Yeah.
Now you can say, my friend, I've got an agent audit, can you help me out?
Yeah.
Now those are the things we can lend. And we are not lending, we are helping each other. You do my cooking, you don't expect me to pay. I do your audits, you do. So that is what friendship are for. When we say we are helping each other,
on the same
we
level.
we are in the same level, but we are standing in the gap for each other.
But look, there are childhood friendships that people just grow.
Yeah, then give money away.
Okay.
Give it. Because you know why I'm saying give it?
Yeah.
When you have this expectation that the person's going to bring back the money, then you're going to be bitter. Yeah. Then you're going to be resentful, and that brings your energy down.
Yeah.
Now, you've let the person on the down to pull you to their level. So, if it's my childhood friend, meaning now we've known each other from since, whenever, like back in the days.
Yeah.
So then I come to you and I borrow money. You want to help me? Say, I want to give Busi this as a gift for our past friendship. If I bring it back, look at it as a gift. But don't
gift back.
Yes. Yeah. Don't let it be a thing of I am going to be so angry with her. I'm going to go around telling everybody they took my money.
Yeah.
No. You must be willing to say, I will give her the 2,000 rand, I will give her the 5,000 rand, I will give her the 10,000 rand. It's a gift. Now, she decides to bring it back, then I will take it, it's fine. But I know that she's also gifting me, that is fine. As much as, like I'm saying, the accountant and the chef. You help me today, I help you tomorrow, no problem.
You know what you're reminding me of? There's this dynamic I had to manage, where there's a friend. I know they're struggling, And sometimes they'd ask me for money. And what I noticed is that every time they've asked me for money, and when they need to bring it back, I would say, no, don't worry. It's okay. You don't have to bring it back, right? And then I started to wonder why I do that. Why don't I think I need to be paid back? And how much of the damage in the friendship is it doing? Because now we are sort of tipping the scale of the friendship. I'm now the permanent savior in this friendship, and we know that takers never know when to stop taking. And I'm not saying that they are a taker, but I'm also a toxic giver because I've also just taken this person's power from them to say, in this relationship, kinamureki. And that's going to translate even to how they are able to tell me things that are honest about me or a situation or not. So when you said that, I wonder what the balance would be, what the middle ground would be. Yes, give them money, make it a gift, but also how do you control that dynamic where you don't have the toxic superiority over them?
And we all know why we need that toxic superiority.
Yeah.
To feed our own wounds of being important, appreciated, feared.
Yes.
So you are also feeding your own demons.
Yeah. And that's how I saw it. I thought to myself, there must be a demon here that needs me to always feel superior in a setup, whether it's with my friends, my colleagues, my in-laws, anyone. In fact, even in my family setup, you are always the rich aunt. You're always the one that's saving other
But
people.
the power
and
the respect.
Where does generosity end and pride begin?
Very thin line.
Very thin line. And what happens when seasons happen and life happens and you are unable to?
Now you feel like, oh, bantu bazothini.
I'm not.
That is why a person is getting married and then things go wrong, they can't come out.
Yeah.
Abantu bazothini. Because your toxic traits now are talking to you.
Yeah.
Saying, remember, they saw you. Now they're going to say you're a failure. Now you do too much to maintain that level.
You actually remind me of the Balmain story that I was telling you about earlier. And one of the things there is that when you show yourself to be successful in public with your friends and your family, there is a deeper fear that if they think I am successful, one day I might not be successful anymore and bazonghleka.
Yes.
What if today I can't wear this and tomorrow I wear another thing?
The Joneses.
I can't keep up with the Joneses and my brand is attached to this.
That's why Instagram is like that. We have to show up on Instagram with my car, with my house, with my what.
And I can't repeat clothes.
Yeah.
So that's
and keep rubbing it in everybody's face. I mean, I've got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the culture of Instagram and this rooted fear we have of success don't seem to play well together. Yeah. I mean, when we grew up knowing there's this saying in my language, when you are eating, you sula your mouth and you hide it away.
Yeah.
And when you get successful, you constantly have this thing that says, people must not know how much you have. People must not even know that you're successful. They'd either ask you for money, they would bewitch you, or they will start treating you in a different way. And how dare you, in an economy that is not doing well, you have money.
Yeah. And you know that happens. I mean, I've been there, done that myself, got that t-shirt. And I noticed that when my wealth profile changed, nobody told me, but I started to be less and less social media showing off. Because I felt that I did not feel like I needed to prove to anybody anymore.
So when you're saying your wealth profile change, you mean to the better?
Yes, or increase.
Yeah.
I felt like, well, number one is that I did not feel like I needed to prove it to anybody that I've arrived.
Yeah.
There was a time when I needed to show anybody. Remember, I was that child that was so broke and everybody had stuff and I didn't have.
Look
So
at me now.
then day one I was like, by the way, I'm also like this. So I had to show it. But the more my profile changed, it was fun. I would just look at my profile and be happy. I didn't have to tell people about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that happens, the most happiest people in relationships doesn't post their relationships. But the other ones that are like, even me. I just got married yesterday. You all must know.
Yeah.
We know. I mean, energy here. I just have to look at a person's picture to know their story. And I don't want to know their story because none of my business. But you can, the people that are normally out there and showing everything out there, they're normally the ones with the issues. So it could be that the relationship is just a hang on. Like, today's happy, let's pause. It's just, we don't know if this is going to last for 5 days.
In case you guys are wondering whether we're happy, let's just hear the picture.
Oh, yes. And the money, like, I also have a car, duh.
Yeah.
I also have a house, I also went on holiday, duh. Now I travel and I don't post. My kids be like, wow. And I'm like, man, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
What conversations are you having with your kids about money traumas?
The weirdest thing is that, my traumas were huge around money. Of course, 40 million rand, like, that's a lot. Now, luckily, my firstborn daughter was young when I went through the biggest ordeal.
Yeah.
The other ones were not born. Now, I knew for sure when I started doing spiritual work that she's gonna attach to that. Every child gets to relive the traumas of their parents if it's not healed.
Yeah.
So,
say that again.
Yeah, every child gets to live the traumas of their parents if it's not resolved or healed. It's an automatic thing. It just gets to be shifted to the next generation with the hope that the next generation can fix it. So most of us have had, when the firstborn child is born in a family or the first grandchild, there's normally talks around the old people that says, this one is going to fix the family.
Yeah.
So you are literally being sold before you are even born to the struggle of the family.
Yeah.
Which means that you must go through all them coisho and find a way to solve it, or else you will have to pass it through to the next generation yourself. That's why the legacy is.
Yeah.
So now, my kids now, the first daughter, I'm going through this, but she's very young. But I knew, back of my mind, that this is gonna be.
You don't do this.
It's gonna be a hell shit also. So luckily, God is amazing. I start my healing process. I heal. But still, I don't have the guts of having the conversation with her, because in my mind, I've got this thing that, oh my goodness, she's gonna attach to the pain.
Okay.
But actually, what I had done was that I had done enough work on myself that there was no longer pain.
Okay.
That now she gets older, she starts her own business, she tells me, I'm never gonna have a job. I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna really, really, really go do what your mother did to herself. Now I left my job, I'm like, the history is really repeating itself.
Yeah.
She gets into photography, she started business. Today she's richer than me.
Sure.
Looks like, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing with money. She saves, she's dedicated to a job, she knows how to do everything correctly. She's running a successful business at her age. She's got her own studio. The other day she was approved for a multi-million rand bond house. She's like amazing, right? She doesn't do crazy things with money. Something that I am like so not understanding how it happens, because I know my problems. But then, the other two now, they are there and they are so good with money. They are so good. But I've never had the conversation with them. So what I'm trying to say is that anyway, we all know nobody nobody's child has ever heard what the mother says.
Yeah.
They think we are crazy humans. We are behind with everything. We don't know what is what, which most of the time, I mean, they've got AI and all. We don't really get it nuts to a certain point. But they only do what our vibration gives them. So if you want to teach your children about money, you've got to heal your money story.
Yeah.
For your children to download that energy. So you don't even have to have the conversation. Automatically, they will inherit that legacy of somebody that respects money. Money loves them without any problem.
Money is comfortable around them.
So you think we want to teach your children about money?
Yeah.
Fix you.
Fix yourself.
Your kids will get on without any problem, and they will learn about money. They will find ways of teaching themselves all sorts of things about money, and they will just get it right, and you'll be like, okay, fine, you guys are okay.
Sure.
So teaching kids about money is like they can go and have financial education of what is bonds, what is investment, what is this, how does credit work.
Yeah.
But that is not how you make money. You can have all the education with an age.
And I guess that's when you were talking, I'm thinking, actually, that's why I started this platform. Because people have platforms around how to invest in shares, money, property, all of these things, how to be savvy with money. But we know we can. I know that I shouldn't gamble. I know that I need to invest. I know I must, pay this. I even know that I must pay a house in 3 years. Persisting always tells us how he's paying a house in 3 years. And I'm always thinking, yeah, I know that. I know it can be done. But what is deeper? There must be some deeper work to this than me just knowing that I must own a property portfolio and, leave money to the next generation. How, in closing, does one know for sure when they have healed their money trauma?
You are no longer scared of making money. You are no longer trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So there's two things that we do. It's either we fear money,
okay,
or we fear failure of not making it, or we fear success
of having
it. So when you're no longer trying to self-sabotage yourself, so there's something that comes up as an opportunity and you go and you mess it up. Or you get the money and then you do crazy things.
Yeah.
You ruin your brand, you ruin your marriage, you ruin all this goal. Yes.
Yeah.
That is when you have the success issue. You are always trying to get rid of how the money came in. So you will notice a lot of these half-eye celebrities that got money when they were married. Now they've got money. Now they're looking for ways of getting rid of the person that got the money in. That is self-sabotage, fear of success. Then you have got the other side, which is fear of failure. Fear of failure is the person saying, oh my goodness, I will never have enough. I will never be able to afford. I will never be able to make it. I will never be able to make 1 million and 2 and 5 and 20 million. Wow, this is so hard. It's going to take me forever. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not. So that is why we do healing work. I mean, I have processes of helping people who have the fear.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. In their job, they can't give me an increase. They don't see me. They don't listen to me. They take my ideas. They hate me. Da, 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 da. You are having fear. Or you have the one that is mostly business people have this, the fear of success. I do not want to enter the next level. I don't do the proposals. I don't do the asking. I don't put the next product out there. I don't implement the ideas. My guides keep giving me the ideas. I don't want to implement them. I'm scared of finding out what could it be like to have a multi-million rand business. So I then will have to stand in the gap and do the ayahuasca ceremonies to make sure that you get rid of the fear of success and you stop self-sabotaging yourself so that you can have a better profile of a better wealth profile. Or you stop trying to refuse. Your receiving field is zero because I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving.
Yeah. Sure. this is hectic. You know,
Healing is not easy.
it's not easy.
Healing
We
is
take it
so
at
hard.
surface value. But I'm sitting here thinking of a conversation I had with someone who was saying, men don't give me money. And I'm thinking to myself, they probably need to come to your retreat.
Absolutely.
You have a retreat sometime.
Yeah, we've got
February.
one that's coming up on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of February. It's in Mahalis.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing 5 ceremonies, including ayahuasca in San Pedro. So San Pedro is the father energy, the masculine that gets us to do things, that needs to take care of us. Then ayahuasca is the process of healing the wounds, the past trauma, the one that happened before you were born, the one that happened when you were 6, 7, the one that happened when you were 25. Could be love.
The one with the purple money.
The purple money issues, yes. So, it could be money, it could be love or health-wise. And most people that have a fear of success, they're scared of tapping into their purpose.
Yeah.
So, your purpose is the one thing that will really blow you out of the water. So if you're scared of taking your purpose, scared of taking your calling, again, you need healing, because your purpose is your doorway to all the joys, not just money. The relationship that's perfect comes through when you're on your purpose.
Yeah.
All these things are added unto you.
Yeah.
When you do your
seek
purpose.
the purpose. Sure. That's amazing. And if you ever feel like this is a lot for you, this is too much, where do I start? I always trust in the serenity prayer. Yeah. And I get this a lot. I get people a lot who are saying, you know what, the things you say blow my mind. But I look at myself in the mirror and I think to myself, where am I going to start? And I always say, let's start at the serenity prayer. For God to help you to accept the things you can't change, and the courage to change the things you can, and the knowledge and the wisdom to know the difference. So if any of this triggered you today, I hope you get that courage to change what you can, and the acceptance to accept what you can't change. And this has been the Legacy Collective with Kanyisa. And Lucy, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that the Legacy Collective has been empowered, and day by day, episode by episode, we're able to heal our legacies and build the legacies we require for the next generation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. And of course, I am so proud of what you've done.
Thank you.
You have really, really opened a can of worms. And it's only just going to bring so much healing to everybody.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
I believe so. Thank you so much. And thank you. I love you. Bye.